Life in the Western world, in my own opinion, is boring. Excuse me, I just say what I said. Hello everyone, how you guys doing? I remember you're getting for daily, and of course, I want to believe you're staying safe and of course staying out of trouble. You know what? I decided that today is gonna be a storytelling day. Yes, it's gonna be a storytelling kind of content. So the story I'm going to tell you guys today is going to be life in the Western world. I'm just gonna give you guys a brief and a little story about that, right? So I need you to sit down and let's flow. But let me put up a disclaimer. Whatever I said here might not actually be a general opinion to everyone, right? I'm only speaking from my own perspective and from most people's perspective that I've already said. If you think what I'm saying is not true, if you live in the Western world and you disagree with what I'm saying, of course, it is also welcome. You can air your own opinion in the comment section, right? Guys, I want to start by saying if you are a family oriented kind of person, if you are the kind of person that grew up with your family, if you're the kind of person that love home, love so many activities that happen back home, if you are the kind of person that want to turn out everything that the family is doing, I bet you life in the Western world is going to be boring for you. Yes, I understand it. The Western world, they have everything. The light is there, the road is good. Where you work, you get paid. You know, all you need to do, all you ought to do is to be up and doing. You gotta work. It doesn't matter how many times you need to work. You gotta keep working in order to pay those bills. Because a week that you did not work in the Western world, you would feel it. Yes, you will. So you really need to be up and doing to be able to fit in. And of course, if you are someone that also have a good saving attitude, then for any reason something happened or for any reason you have a little drawback, you would be able to still stand the little test of time while your savings will carry you along. So, life in the Western world, when you hear people talk about living the triangle life, or rather the triangular life, the triangular kind of lifestyle, there is no place that suits such stories more than the Western world. Yes. Except you are someone that is full of life, that always have to go places, that always love partying, that always want to mingle with people, right? Then for some reason you would always be out there. But the triangle kind of lifestyle that they always talk about is here in the Western world, where you would see yourself go to work, rather come back, go to the mall to get the things you need, and get back home, and from home you get back to work, right? So, take for instance, I actually went to church today with my family. I got back I actually went to church today by 9 a.m., and of course, I got back like 11 a.m. From the time I got back till now, I have not undressed. Not like I'm doing anything serious, right? We got back, and of course, everyone ate, and I decided to sit back to do a couple of things that I wanted to do. Not anything serious, right? But it is so different when you want to compare life back home. Because before I started doing this content, I actually decided to go take a nap. That should be like 6 p.m. That is what the time is almost. I told myself I want to go take a nap because I'm feeling a little bit sleepy, right? But then I say, you know what? I need to create a content for the week. Let me just do it, a quick one, before going to lay down. And that is why you see me sitting on my staircase, right? To do this content before going in, take a nap. Life in the Western world, in my own opinion, is boring. Excuse me, I just say what I said. I will stand by telling you that when I was back home, I am an extrovert. I am more like a lively person. In fact, if I happen to be in the mix of people, if I happen to be in the mix of my friends, they would always laugh. I am a very jovial and very active person, right? But life in the Western world have turned me to an introvert. Yes. Most of the times I wanna just be on my own. Most of the times, if you see me hanging out, I hang out with my family. In fact, my family looks more like the people I hang out with. Yes. I have friends at work, but I barely wanna hang out. I don't know, but I'm just trying to let you understand what life in the Western world can do to people. Yes. So take partying outside, take clubbing outside. Of course, there are things that when we keep growing up, when we keep aging, we try to do away with those, right? Yes. So, but the kind of friends that I keep back home, the way I flow with my family, because I have a very sweet family full of energy that at any time we all gather together. Even despite being married, at all time we wanna like gather together as a family just to share each other up, laugh, smile. Oh my God, I have a sweet family, guys. But life in the Western world has turned me to an introvert. Most of the time, you know, you see me do some things. I try to engage myself with some online activities, stuff that I do, right? Those also take my time. And the truth is, you barely even have that free time to look for where to hang around. Yes, you barely have that time because when you remember that the little time you have, you needed to use it to rest, either sleep, catch some rest before hitting back to work on Monday, you would rather choose to rest than going elsewhere. So most times when you see people travel back home, you see them being happy, you see them doing things in an extraordinary manner. Don't blame them. That is just the time they have to catch up with their happiness. That is the time they have to enjoy life to the fullest. That is the time and the only time they have to be happy and to smile. I am telling you, life back home is so sweet that you cannot quantify it. You can never compare it with life in the Western world. I don't want you to come to comment section and tell me, then why don't you come back? Hey, I don't need that nasty comment. Okay? Yes, of course, people travel back home. That is why when people work, spend time as much as they can, they try to go back home, and cool off, try to be stress free, try to rest, try to mix up with their families before coming back. So, life back home for someone that is living in the Western world, traveling back home is a way of relieving stress. Traveling back home is a way of catching some breath. Traveling back home is a way of finding joy and smiling and being happy. But you will not understand. Do you know why I say you will not understand? You would never understand until you come over. I remember when I came I remember when I came over here. People don't normally tell you much. The only thing they will tell you, or the only comment they will leave for you, is you have visited, you have seen our place, at least you've seen us, you've seen the way we are. They always want to say, you've visited us now, you've seen us. We are left nowhere, this is us. So most times when you are back home, people don't tell the full story until you come over. I know, yes, we complain the government are bad, the economy is bad, things are hard, things are difficult. Absolutely true. Yes. Because I also agree that if all those things are well placed, people coming to the Western world would not be necessary. If everything is working well, well placed, well situated, we have electricity for people that want to run factory, we have good school, we have good medical clinics, I bet you nobody would even want to look over this side because there is no place like home. Home is beautiful, home is sweet. Home is where you can relax. Home is where you will even sweat. Do you know you hardly sweat in the Western world? And it's not life. Some things people want to be happy over, they think, hey, this is happiness, this is joy. It is not. People hardly sweat in this country. I remember back home, some places, even if you have the car, you can choose to walk. If you don't want to walk, the traffic will make you to walk. The traffic will make you to choose another option rather than driving. Hello? But over here, you see people from house to car, from car to walk, from walk to the mall, from the mall to house. They don't sweat, except they probably do exercise, choose to go to the gym and all that. But how many times do they have that luxury time to even go to the gym, to go do all that? Haven't you heard of people dropping dead, doing so much time, working so much overtime, doing too much for God knows what? And before you know, they will not be able to hold up with their level of stress. And before you know, boom, they kick the bucket. Before you know, it's over. People are dying of stress here. The stress level is too much. And the truth is that probably you came over to the Western world when you were young, right? You have the energy, you were working so hard, doing so many things, and you forgot that, hey, you have already added another 10 to 20 decades to your life, and you are still trying to still work with the same speed. That is where the level of stress becomes so high, and before you know, the stress level will be more than the person carrying the stress. People are dying because of stress in this country. I can never tell the whole story about Western life in this one video. It's not possible. But because it came in my mind, I decided to share it in a brief way. But sometimes I look into social media, I see where people are arguing, hey, why go home to retire where you know that you don't live back home, you live here in the Western world. You see people build house back home and they are not going back home to live in the house. They are living here. That is a waste investment. That is a waste of resources. Well, that is your own opinion, right? But then let people do what suits them. Okay? I am of the opinion that the best place to retire is back home. I am of the opinion that the best place to retire when you probably, once you are above 50 and you know you are already on that first, second phase, once you are above 50 and you are already in your second phase, you should be looking towards retiring back home if it is convenient for you. But if it's not convenient for you, that's okay, right? But do not discourage people from doing what is in their mind, okay? Because even while you are living here and something happens to you, if you don't have, maybe you have family to take care of the things you have, but if you don't have family, whatever you have will still go. So it doesn't matter where life just to happen. It does not matter. Now, I would also want to point a finger to this direction, to the reason why retiring back home most times seems to be so difficult, right? Is that when people retire back home, especially when it's not properly planned, when you retire back home, it's always hard to fit in because you have already left for quite a long time, right? So retiring back home, trying to fit in, trying to look for something to do, and also considering your age of retirement, trying to fit in is always hard, right? But assuming you cannot plan it, maybe have a place or a home that you know that when you retire, you are definitely retiring back to your home, and also where you probably have a job that you did here that once you retire, you would probably be paid your retirement plan, pension, or whatnot, right? And then by the time you get back home, you know you doing all that is because you're trying to make life a little bit easy for yourself, right? We can never be so perfect on how to do things, on how to fit in, on how to make things happen. But I know we can always take life one step at a time. But I bet you the age is moving so fast. And it's either we get it right now or it will pass us by. The age is fast running. It is. I'm gonna leave this story for another day, right? Yes. Maybe also I would also wanna talk more about it. But if you are living in Western world, I wanna say kudos to you in all that you do, in the energy that you put in. I wanna say may God bless all your daily activities and give you the strength to keep pushing. But try to work on your stress level. The way I'm talking to yourself, I'm also talking to myself. Because most times I let stress set in and I undergo stress too. Don't be an introvert or do not let the Western world move you from being an extrovert to an introvert, right? Try to go out, if possible, go to the gym, go to places, mix up, mingle around if you can. You know, be the best that you can and try to reduce your stress intake. A lot of people are dropping down because of stress. Work on yours, okay? And of course, try and be happy, try and smile, and try to cut down on those shifts. Yes, you are not going to heaven with that money if anything happens. So do the best that you can, but look at yourself and know how much stress that your body can carry, and do not overload that body of yours. I'm gonna stop here, guys, and until I see you guys next time, I remain your girl Fidelia. Remain blessed, stay safe, and stay out of trouble. Bye bye.